Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen, and there is nothing, well, there's a lot of things, but there's nothing I love more than a good church rummage sale. And I kind of accidentally happened upon one this week. Now, most of these items that I bought for personal use. However, I am a reseller. And so I am always looking for things that I can resell on eBay and Poshmark. So there are a few of those items in there. And let's see what we found. I think, get overcharged. And I feel like the last few hauls I've done, I've said that, and I'm very good at like taking a pile and setting it and then walking away, and then I come back and it's bagged up and they've got a price on it, and I'm like, I don't know what happened here. I actually went through this right after I paid. I went out to my car and went through, and I do think that one of two things happened. Either they overcharged me and it was an older couple who was checking me out, or they charged me, I think they may have charged me like a lot of money for this, even though it said books were 50 cents for paperback. I think they may have charged me like $10 for this set, even though it should have been $4. So I don't know for sure. When it's a church sale, I don't tend to care very much because I know it's going back into that church, which is usually then going back into the community in some way. So I'm happy to just not worry about it. But for some reason, I felt the need to tell you. So here we are. The first thing I bought was this set of Anne of Green Gables, LM Montgomery, Anne of Green Gables set. I have a daughter who is graduating in a year and I'm wrapping my brain around it, but right now I am in the middle of kind of collecting some of her favorite books that she has read over the years, her favorite book series, and that is going to be my graduation gift to her. She doesn't know, so don't tell her. It is a surprise, but I was really excited that I found this one. This is definitely one of her favorite series, but I will be looking for a lot. I'm gonna start with like Dr. Seuss and Little House on the Prairie and like a lot of the younger ones too, and just so she'll have this wonderful collection of books. She's an avid book reader, so I think she will like this. I bought this for my family, for my husband, really. This is a 30-inch grill cover. We have a kettle grill in our backyard. He likes to charcoal grill things. This is just a little paint palette. Actually, I think there's more than one in here. I like to buy my kids, I have 4 children, 2 teenage daughters, and then a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. And I like to buy like craft items, art supplies, things like that. And it's $1 for all these beads, especially, you know, during the summer months when there's a rainy day or a super hot day when we're not playing outside, you know, something to just kind of take their attention. And so when I can buy something that has been bought already and I'm giving it a new chance at life. So again, like these stickers, 75 cents. So it's probably too much to pay for those, but here we are. Anyway, this is also for me. I have been on the hunt for these kind of gold frames. I really want them to be able to hang on my wall, but unfortunately all these vintage frames like this don't hang, so I don't know. But I thought this one was kind of cool with the oval within the rectangle. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with it. I have it's June, but in December we like repainted our living room and just did some things, and since then I've been kind of collecting items to decorate, and I have a bin full of things and I haven't done anything with it yet, so I still need to do that. And then I thought I would do a kind of tour of my living room, since most everything is either secondhand in some way, most of the items in my living room. So there's a little palette that went with the paint paint palette thing, canvas, that's the word. They had a whole table of brass. And I love brass, and that's one of the things I've been collecting. I did look some things up to see if it would be valuable to resell, but the sell-through rate really was not as high as I thought it was going to be. So I have a couple candlesticks. There's a set, yes, that are the same size, and then this one is similar but different, and it's taller. So I thought that would look nice in like a little set of 3. And then I really like birds, and I found this little turtle dove, and he was $3. So this candlestick set was $5 for the set, and then this one just had $2 on it. I'm just gonna show you. Oh, maybe I didn't. I got a different set than I thought I was gonna get. There was one that said solid brass on the bottom with like a country, maybe, or a brand. I'm not really sure. Anyway, the turtle doves, there was a set of 3 that had sold for, I want to say $40, maybe $18. I think it was $18, because I was like, by the time I buy 3 of them, they had a few of them there, but by the time I buy 3 of them, it's not going to be worth it to resell. So I just bought one for me to put in my living room somewhere. We'll see how that goes. And then I found this vintage felt board. I thought it would be fun for my little kids to play with. It is Noah's Ark. Yeah, vintage felt board. Maybe I should look this up and see if it's sellable, because I think sometimes stuff like this can be, but I don't know for sure. All right. Oh. Okay. Let's see what else. I also found these little things to color or draw on. I'm not really sure what they were supposed to be initially, but they had 25 cents a piece on them. Again, something I'm going to give to my little kids to occupy them when they're bored, which is always. They did have a little table of jewelry. This was priced at $1.50. And it might be a little much for me, but I'm trying to up my game with jewelry and just how I'm dressing. I'm trying to get out of my hot mess mom phase and be a little more, I don't know, be a little more with it, put together. So one of the ways I'm trying to do that is to wear jewelry every day. And so I have been experimenting and buying jewelry as I find it. And yeah, like I said, this might be a little much for me, but maybe if I'm on a date, or I don't know, if I have to go to a wedding or something, it might be kind of fun. Yeah, man, a lot of this is just personal use. Okay, I got another bag down here, and it's split open, so I'm a little nervous about that. I have been on the hunt for a new wallet because I just have like a pouch wallet and everything gets lost in there. This is Poppy Jones. I don't know what it is. I don't even think it's real leather. I'm not super excited about it, but it was $2, and until I find what I want, at least I can keep my things organized and not just dig through my pouch wallet that I have right now. So I was really noticing it when I was on I was on a trip with my husband recently, and I was trying to keep receipts separate and cash separate, and I just was having a hard time of it. So this is my new wallet until I can find what I want, which is like a nice leather wallet. I was actually telling my husband that I found one, like I found the one I want, but it was like $35 at a Clothes Mentor, and he was like, why did you get that? And I was like, it was $35. And he's like, yeah, that sounds really reasonable. I was like, yeah, probably, I guess. I'm just so cheap for my own personal thing. This I did buy to resell. This was $3, and actually I probably should keep that on there. This I thought was just kind of cute, the way it kind of flaps over. This is a leather purse with a kind of canvas strap. The brand is, where is it? The Sack. which I have sold numerous times in various shapes and sizes and materials. So they have a woven kind of bag that they're most known for, I think. And I've sold quite a few of those, but I have also sold the leather bags before. So I do think this one, I don't know, this has like a vintage kind of vibe to it. So maybe it's vintage. I'm not really sure how to find that out with the sack. Let's see, I found a tag. That's always helpful. It's 100% leather. It's made in China. So I don't know. That's not really helpful, is it? It's not helpful for me anyway. I'll have to do a little bit of digging into that. As if it's vintage, I don't know. Why do I think that makes it better? Does vintage make it better? All right, I found actually a fair amount of vintage clothes there. This is a vintage t-shirt, and I found a second one. If they didn't have a price on them, they were $1, but this has a little thing. I mean, this is literally the exact same t-shirt, just in a different color. And this is it's Grant's Menswear, 100% cotton, made in the USA. But I just thought that was kind of a cool tag, and there's something about the style that I don't know, just found intriguing. It's like a ribbed material. Something about that stripe. I'll have to figure out some keywords for that, but I just thought it was, no, I liked them. So I paid $2 for those. I'll probably lot them together and sell them as one unit. I found this very interesting. This is a skirt, and it's a woman's skirt. It's 100% cotton. I think it's an extra small. It is. But it's Hannah Anderson, which is actually a children's brand. So I just thought it was kind of interesting that it was a woman's skirt. $1 for that. I can't imagine that that's going to sell for very much money. Maybe $15, maybe. All right, this was a very cool, in my opinion, vintage shirt. This has a Myrtle Beach graphic on it with the birds. Very cracked graphic, which is probably not ideal. I was trying to figure out if this was single stitch or not. I don't think it is, because it's a ringer tee. And usually ringers have like a contrast, but with the way that what is that called? The hem on the sleeve, is it called a hem? Is done, that's like a ringer style. So anyway, I'm not like a vintage expert by any means. This is polyester and cotton sportswear made in the USA. I don't know, very faded tag, that's for sure. I just sold a vintage t-shirt that I mean, it sold for like $13. So it didn't sell for a lot, but it was very nondescript. Like, it didn't have anything exciting about it. This one was $2 apparently. Also made in the US. This one is Allure on the tag. I don't know. And then this is the graphic here. Mount Rushmore, Black Hills, South Dakota. Oh, 1986. I love it when there's a year on the graphic. All right. This is a pair of shorts that just reminded me of, I've sold a couple of vintage shorts. One was Umbro, and I think ones were Adidas, and they just had this same kind of look to them. Of course, Umbro and Adidas are like recognizable brands. This is not. Actually, this has no brand on it at all. Yes, it does. Radar. Made in the Philippines. That's kind of fun. It says fade out real big right there. I don't know what that means. But hopefully I can use some keywords. I'm not super great at keywords, but I'm learning. I'm doing my best. So, watching a lot of videos. This was something else that I probably, no, I don't think I'll keep these. I was thinking about keeping those. Maybe I'll sell these. Maybe I'll keep these. I don't know. These are vintage pillowcases. There's 2 of them. It says new, but there's definitely stains on them. So new decorative cases. And I did think that I found a tag. Yes. So this is spring made Wonder Kale. No iron. Is it called Percale? Percale. Standard pillowcase, polyester cotton. Does it say made in the USA? But it's very, yeah, made in the US. So very, you know, cottage core. I will use cabin, country, probably fairy because it has a butterfly on it. I'm learning about selling linens, pillowcases, sheets, curtains, things like that. So this is kind of a guess that this will sell, but I think that it might. I'm really tempted to keep them. Because again, it goes a little bit more with that aesthetic in my living room. Although those aren't really a living room. Anyway, I've been looking for a really long time for a set of decorative measuring cups. So this is quarter cup. They're just the Pioneer Woman, but I mean, I love the print on these. Very cute. So quarter cup. This one's the 3rd cup with the polka dots. And it just has the colors that I like and I'm drawn to, like that teal, green. That one's the 1 cup and the 1/2 cup. Now, one thing I might do is check and see if these are worth a lot of money, because I know some things within the Pioneer Woman world can be. There's certain patterns of the rolling pins that are very like sought after. So I might just check that, because sometimes I buy things for me and then I find out that they're worth a lot of money and have a high sell-through rate, and I'm like, I'll sell them and find something for me later. I don't know. These are some jeans, black jeans. These are Levi's 517s. They had $4 on them. I did look them up while I was there and I don't remember, but it was good enough for me to buy. The comps were good enough for me to buy them. So I guess maybe more to resell than I really was thinking, but more of the hard goods, you know, decorative items were more for me and my own personal use. So yeah, are you a church sale fan? I am, other than I usually spend too much because I don't pay attention and just give them money, which makes me sound heartless and cruel. Maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, just the way I said that. Okay, I need to stop talking now. I usually have a question of the day, and I'm really struggling to think of one right now. Let's see. How about baking? Do you like to bake or cook, or both, or neither? Usually people have like one or the other that they prefer more than the other. Mine is definitely baking. Although I do less of that and more cooking because I have to cook for my family. So although both my older daughters are very good in the kitchen, and my husband is like so good. He, of the 2 of us, is definitely by far the better cook. So, but I do love to bake. I just don't get to do it that much. And when I do, I love to have beautiful things that I can use. Although I don't really know how practical these are gonna be, because like to measure flour and stuff, you have to level it, and that's not gonna be super practical to level. But anyway, they're still pretty to look at. All right. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate hanging out with you, sharing with you what I got to resell and for my own personal use. All right. I'll see you soon.